Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move into the third stage, the last stage, and this is about handling objections and asking for the order. Now, you're going to listen to me handle some objections. They're going to give me the commission objection, right? They're going to give me the price objection, and they're going to give me the objection that, oh, yeah, we want to talk to another real estate agent. And just listen to how I handle those as well. You might have some of your own ideas as well, but hopefully you're going to hear this, and you're going to, boy, I can see how that would become easier if I would help the prospect when they give me an objection, see that it's to their advantage to go with my advice. So have a look, and I'll be back in just a few minutes.
I mean, great presentation.
Thank you.
Great information. I think that it's given us a lot to think about. I know we haven't really talked about the costs associated with moving. Now, this is our first time selling a home. Yeah. So I don't even know. I know when my parents sold their home, that process, but I was just a kid. I mean, what are your fees?
Good question. There's generally three things that people need to think about when it comes, so they get the end, I need to think about it. And I understand it's a big decision. It's your most valuable asset. Number one is they need to think about, is that agent qualified to handle the sale of their home? That's number one. So the first thing I got asked is, do you feel comfortable? Do you think I could handle the sale for you? Do you think I'd do a good job?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're qualified.
Okay. If you had to pick, and it's okay to say no, by the way. It's okay to say, no, Rich, we're not listening with you. I'm good with that, right? If you had to pick right now between myself and Bob, based on what I presented, based on what Bob presented, and I know he's a bit of a friend, I know, he hasn't been in real estate a long time or anything like that, and you got a bit of a relationship, but who do you think's best qualified to sell your most valuable asset?
I think you're more qualified to do it,
Yeah, and it is your most valuable asset. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can agree you probably think that I can do it for you.
Yeah.
I feel that way, yeah.
Okay. Then the second thing we got to figure out is the commission. Because everybody goes, well, you just said it, Rolf. And by the way, it's a great question. Okay, our brokerage fee is 5%. Okay, and you're comfortable with that?
Now that's the total fees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 5%. So it's 5% of just the sale price. Now, you know what's really cool about that fee? You only pay it if I sell it. Mm-hmm. You don't pay anything if they don't sell it. I can tell you're a little hesitant there. What's going on? Bob quote you a fee?
Yeah, Bob was a little cheaper.
Was he? What did he quote you?
Yeah. 4%.
4%? Wow. Well, good for him. Now, I will say to you, commissions are flexible. Agents can charge whatever they want. It's a free world, and that's a good thing, right? And you should be concerned. However, I would ask you this question. Are you more concerned about the actual fee, or do you want to make sure you net out the most amount of money? What would be the answer to that?
Of course, net out the most.
So the reason they're asking about fee is because you think if you get a lower fee, you're going to net out more money.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And Bob didn't share with you the percentage of listings that he's actually selling and that sort of thing either, right? Because there's no fee. I could charge you 1%, but I don't sell you, no pay. Mm-hmm. Right? So let me show you something. Remember I showed you that I'm negotiating 2% higher? So what's interesting is when I present this to people, they go, wow, I never thought about it that way. But do you realize by working with me, you're actually going to net out more money? Remember I showed you, said, okay, I'm just going to pick round numbers, okay, just, because it's easier this way. But let's say, we did have a price of $700,000. Obviously, 4% of $700,000 is how much? That's a fee of $28,000, correct? We take $700,000, right, and 5%, and we know that's $35,000, correct? However, what is 2% of $700,000?
$14,000.
It's $14,000, right? So the difference is $7,000 in fee, but based on my negotiating skills, I'm actually netting people $14,000 more on a $700,000 sale. The average home is selling for 97% of this price, and I'm getting 99% of this price, 2% higher. So in other words, by working with me, you're not actually paying 1% more. What you're actually doing is you're making $7,000 more. So let me ask this, your most valuable asset. Do you think I'm a decent negotiator? Honestly. It's okay to say no, but based on what I presented, do you think I'm a good negotiator?
Probably, yeah.
And think about this for a minute. The easy thing for me to do is, oh yeah, I'll cut my fee, but I'm not willing to do it. And the reason I'm not willing to do it is because I'm not willing to cut my services because I want to get your home exposed to as many people as possible. And if somebody is possibly charging less, are they doing all the same things? I can't answer that, but here's what I do know. I do know that when an offer comes in your home, you're going to have a strong negotiator. And if I can't sit here in front of you right now, if I can't negotiate my own commission, would you really want me to negotiate and sell your most valuable asset?
Guess not. That's something to think about.
You ever heard the old saying, you sometimes get what you what? Pay for, right? So what I'm saying to you is you're going to get a skilled negotiator. Do you see how this all works? Is this making sense to you? Okay, so then the last thing that people need to think about is they need to think about what the price they're going to list their home at. That's always the third one. They say, well, I want to find an agent that's qualified. I got to figure out the brokerage fee. We've talked about that. Okay, it sounds to me like you're fairly comfortable so far. Then we've got to figure out the price. And I mentioned to you a list price of $719,000. Are you comfortable listing your home at that price with me tonight?
No.
Well, it didn't take long. I like that.
I wanted to answer before she did.
Yeah.
That's
Well, logically it makes sense. but-
right. What price would you list it for?
I mean, our initial thought was 750,000. You know, I understand that it may not be 100% realistic, but I feel that 719, you know, maybe we're selling ourselves a bit short. Like I said, we really need to maximize. We need to take every dollar from here for our new home.
And you should. And you should. You know, but here's what I can tell you. At that price, you're not moving. Like, it's not an option. Like, that's what I mean. It's not an option. You can list it at that price, but you're staying here. So the question is, do you want to stay here?
No, we want to move,
Yeah.
but
What about if we list it for 725?
725? So you're thinking 725. I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We'll list it at 725. But in the first 2 weeks, if we don't have the amount of activity that I feel as a professional that we should have, because I want to take advantage of these first 30 to 40 days, right? Then I'll be sitting down with you in 2 weeks, and we'll look at that, and I want you to consider strongly adjusting it to a price that'll cause it to sell. Like 725 is not far off, so I think it's in the range. You know what I mean? And your house is very emotional, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. But if not, in 2 weeks the activity's not there, we'll sit and talk about it. How's that sound?
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Okay.
So, should we go ahead with the paperwork?
Ask the boss.
Wow, we should at least talk to Bob, no?
Yeah, I feel like we should give him a call.
I understand. Why don't we do this? You've already, I think, made up your mind by the sounds of it, right? You're saying, like, we got to call Bob, right? So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead with the paperwork, right? We'll get it all signed up, get you going. And to make you more comfortable, do you want me to call Bob? Like, real estate agents do that all the time.
Really?
Well, I could call them and say, listen, Bob, I just over, they're amazing people, they love you to death, right? And we talked about it, and they just decided they want to go ahead and work with me. Would that make it easier for you?
It's a great option. I appreciate it. I think I'm better off. I'd rather just tell them ourselves.
Well, let's go ahead and get the paperwork done, and then you give Bob a call.
Sure. Are you okay moving forward?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Okay, you've watched the whole thing. Now let's move into the action plan over the next little while. So first of all, just so you know, you can go online, and we also have more role plays of other objection handlers. So I would say go listen to those. The other thing is we actually have some outtakes we've recorded that would probably answer some questions that you might have right now, like what to do if you're a new agent and you don't have statistics, things like that. So we've created all that content for you. So just go online and you can watch that. What I'd also recommend you do is go online and download the listing presentation template. So now you got to create a listing presentation, right? Now, a lot of people, well, this is a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work, but come on. Like, are you a professional real estate agent? Do you want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars in this industry? Well, guess what? We got to get up there. We got to be like the top 1% if we're going to do that. So download the template. You can create your listing presentation as well. Some other things, you got to calculate your statistics, obviously, based on what you saw in the presentation. And then what you want to do is you want to start to practice the presentation. Like, create your listing presentation from the template, and then you need to start to practice it, okay? Start to become a true pro, a true professional. Remember, there's amateurs and there's professionals. And professionals make the big money. They do the most amount of sales. Okay, so great job. And don't forget to keep making your calls. Don't forget to keep generating leads. Don't forget to keep bringing value to your lifetime referral system. And I will see you in the next module.